what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. Who will be the next college football superstars? So 247 put out a list of 15 players that they think are going to be the next college football superstars for 2025. They've got DJ Lagway on there because of course they do. Cam Coleman, a guy who kind of went under the radar at Auburn last year, freshman wide receiver, but who is, he was right behind or right up there with Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams is Cam Coleman. They have Spencer Fano, the Utah offensive tackle, who's awesome, but will not be a superstar. He's an offensive lineman. Peter Woods, Clemson D-line, of course, more Peter Woods content here. You keep hearing about him, All-American. They got Alabama edge and over to Anthony Hill, Centurion Perkins from Ole Miss, the cornerback from Miami, KJ Bolden from Georgia. No LSU players.
That's crazy.
And so if you had to choose, especially because I do think LSU is going to be a playoff team next year, if you had to choose who should be on this list, who's your answer?
All right, what is the headline again? Like, how are they phrasing?
College football's next wave of superstars in 2025. Let me see exactly what it says. College football's next wave of superstars in 2025. 50 players set to emerge.
So you think they're taking into account that Nussmeier's already emerged?
I think
potentially.
Yes. I think Nuss maybe would not qualify as much for this. Now, these other guys had good years too, right? Like Terry Perkins for Ole Miss had a great year. Certainly, DJ Lagway on a lower level. They got Arch Manning on this list as well because of course they do. But I feel like probably Nuss is already enough of a known quantity.
If I was throwing a name out there that I think is a known name to us here at LSU and maybe throughout the SEC, but not nationally yet, but it will be at the end of the year, would be Whit Weeks.
Got to be.
40.
Got to be Whit Weeks. To me, there's two obvious ones, and this is only from knowing this team intimately. Well, Whit could have ended. You could argue that Whit objectively should have ended up on this list anyway, regardless. And then the other guy I'd say would be Trey'Dez Green.
Yeah.
He looks like he is set to really turn some heads.
And Durham.
Next season. Yeah, and Durham.
I think Durham could take another jump.
For sure. But, Whit Weeks, last season, 120, and this is without starting every game.
He lead the SEC.
125 tackles. He's close. I can't imagine many people had more than 125.
Yeah. 10
TFLs, 3.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 pass breakups, 1 pick. It's actually an insane stat line. It's an All-American stat line.
Well, he was first team All-SEC.
Yeah.
And then how about this? I didn't realize this, but he had 3 different games in which he had 17 or more tackles. Yeah. And it was Ole Miss, Alabama, and Oklahoma. So big games against the best teams.
Yeah, and you won 2 of them, yeah.
He had 2 forced fumbles and 4.5 tiffles in those games as well. I think Whit Weeks. Now, granted, the injury kind of makes you it kind of throws a wrench into a lot of this.
Yeah, but he's already out there working.
Yeah, broken fibula is actually the easiest injury to ever recover from. I have no long-term effects from the broken fibula. It's just a bone, no ligament damage. It's not bad, to Jake's point. But, I guess the bigger thing is these stats are so crazy that it's just hard to think about doing better than this. But in theory, he's got a better secondary behind him, a better D-line in front of him. Like, he should potentially even put up better numbers. Although maybe are you trying to focus on him more? I'm not sure. But Whit Weeks, I think, should be the answer. And I think really will have an opportunity to be an All-American by year's end.
Oh, I think so as well. He is somebody that you go back and you think about the plays that he made, like the Arkansas game. That's not a normal linebacker play where he's rushing and pops it up in the air to himself and then goes out there and can make a play on the football. Like the athletic ability with the aggression, it's a rare combination. It's what we used to talk about with Devin White. It was the same thing. It's like
true.
You're typically not that aggressive if you're that athletic. You're either one or the other. Like you're aggressive and you're limited athletically, or you're kind of the athletic guy who's a little timid, doesn't really want to get into the fray. And he's the combination that you always look for.
Yeah, and then you really started to hit something with like Keys paired with him too last year. By the end of the year, Charles Ross still I think a name that people on this LSU defense, and plus you could be talking about an LSU defense that is maybe good again for the first time in a while.
And you got West Weeks,
and it'll be
well.
the face of it. Yeah, and West Weeks there as well. So yeah, Whit would be my answer for breakout.
Whit was
superstar.
Third in tackles in the SEC last year. There was Isaac Smith and Stone Blayton, both from Mississippi State. And this isn't me trying to be funny or throw shade, but they were probably on the field more.
Yeah, no, for
as
sure.
well, more opportunities.
Stone Blayton.
But solo tackles.
Thank you. I was
Hell
like, that's a
of a name,
fire
dude.
name. I was thinking like that's a fire name.
That's an NCAA. We're
Yes.
4 years into the dynasty name.
Yeah,
And you
like-
better be a dude if your name's
Stone
Or like, I'm
Blayton.
recruiting them off your name.
Yeah.
Stone Blayton. Yeah. that's fire.
But Whit was by far over both of them solo tackles. Whit led the SEC in solo tackles.
Damn. And that's, again, with not really playing at the beginning of the year. Not playing full time. It's insane.
See,
3
that's
games
why
of 17 or more.
I hate when LSU has these giant marquee matchups week 1 because when you check the week 1 game to like, I don't know, week 10, it's vastly different the guys on the field.
No, I
Vastly
know. I
different.
mean, well, LSU has a problem with,
And that's got to
they
be
gotta
all
get a
the
better,
coaches
yeah, they
to
got to get
figure
a
it
better
out
grasp.
during camp.
They got to
Okay.
evaluate better. I don't know what the hell's going on during
But you
camp.
know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
right? Yeah,
no,
it'd be
absolutely.
so different.
And some of that is always going to be true, but I don't know, Jake, I think we agree that LSU seems to be at the extreme end of it,
yeah.
where there's just a huge disconnect between what they think they have and what they actually have at the beginning of the year.
I think it's a little bit of just take the leap. If you think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
a younger player or somebody that's maybe not even young but hasn't got their opportunity should be playing, don't go with the safe route.
Yeah.
I think some of that will help LSU if they're just like, hey, look, I know we've got these solid linebackers, but we remember what Whit Weeks was last year. Like, let's go ahead and just roll him out there 100%. He's not coming out of the game. Remember, USC, I mean, he played, but he didn't play the entire game by any means.
No.
Right? And I think when you have a dynamic playmaker in today's college football, because it wasn't the case when T-Bob and I were playing, like there was really, really good players that redshirted when we were in school.
Yeah.
Like that just happened. That doesn't happen anymore. And if you're not going to redshirt that player and you think he can be a game changer, just know you're going to have to live probably with a mental mistake or two, but his athletic ability and the playmaking ability is going to outweigh that mental mistake or two compared to somebody that plays it safe and can't make the play.
So, again, another offseason of waiting and a massive matchup against a national championship caliber Clemson team. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.